YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I know I've been gone for a minute, bro. Just a lot of family shit, you guys know. Just work, stuff like that. Just dealing with a lot of shit, man. But in today's title, you guys see what it is. I got this topic from someone in my comments. He was telling me to do it a couple of weeks ago, but I kept kind of pushing it off because I was trying to put out some other content before then. And you guys, like I just said, I just got caught up with life and just other bullshit that was going on. So I kind of forgot about it till recently. But without further ado, just get right into it. Um, yeah, Streets body game helped me in a street smart kind of situation, man. Um, so the story started. It was like late at night, right? So it was late at night. It's about like 10 or 11, and I was gonna go to the store. There's a store near my house that's like 5 minutes away. So driving would be like 2 minutes, and I was gonna get a drink, and I had a feeling too. I had a bad feeling too whether I should go or not. Like I really had a feeling. I was like, should I go or should I just eat something at home? Right? I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just go. So I walked to that store at 7-Eleven, and as I was walking there, um, there's this old black dude that is always up there. He's gonna be a part of the story. He's always up there, and I see him every now and then. Right? I see him every now and then. He's always up there, just chilling. Right? He's an older guy. He's in a wheelchair. So that night I was going up there, right? I was walking up there and I had, you know what I'm saying, a hoodie on like this, all black pretty much, right? And I seen the old black dude just laid out, like from far away. Like I'm about to get up to the store and I just see this black dude, the older black dude just laid out. And I see someone next to him like tapping him. So I'm kind of walking a little bit fast now because I'm like, oh shit, like what's going on? So I get up to there and I see the old guy on the ground just throwing up, like just continuously throwing up. And I see this Mexican dude, he had kind of like a bald spot on his head, looked like he's about like in his 30s to late 30s. That looked like a tweaker, I'll be honest. He looked like he was a bum, I'll be honest. And I got there and I was asking the older guy. I was asking, I actually know him a little bit. I asked him, I was like, what happened to you? What happened to you? But obviously he wasn't really answering me. So then the guy next to him that was tapping his back, was just all of a sudden just super friendly with me. Just he was like, "Oh, bro, you're hella big, bro. You a boxer? You a football player? I'm so glad you came, bro, because you're way bigger than me. Oh, you some type of boxer or something?" And the dude tried to handshake me. Like the guy tried to handshake me. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't handshake the dude. Like I didn't handshake the dude because I already had a bad feeling about him. Like I kind of brushed him off and kept asking the older guy what happened. Cause I was like, why are you concerned with me when this dude's obviously laid out on the floor, right? Like if you didn't do anything, you wouldn't be concerned about what the fuck, how I look or what I'm doing, right? You'd be concerned with him. You get what I mean? Like you wouldn't be trying to create a conversation with me about sports and shit when this dude's on the ground laid out. So that was already kind of like very sketchy to me. I'm like, yeah, this dude's suspicious. He had something to do with it. He might have not did it, but he definitely had something to do with the situation, right? So at that point, I go over to him. So at that point, now I'm just like looking at the older black dude. I'm just looking at him as he's throwing up, right? Just letting him throw up before I help him into his wheelchair. And the guy goes inside, the Mexican dude. And as he's inside, I'm asking the older dude, I'm like, what happened? What happened? You gotta tell me what happened. But he's not telling me, he just looks dazed. And I see he has a cut right there on his up on his upper eye, and he's like bleeding, right? Like I'm not making any of this shit. This is like all just dead ass. And and the guy comes back out, and I'm telling him like he's not drunk, bro. He didn't just fall. I see he has a cut right here, and I told him I was like, bro, I've been in enough fights to know it's very unlikely for you to get a cut right here just randomly. Like if you get a cut over your eyebrows, you guys know too. It's probably because you got into some type of fight. It's very rare just to get a cut right above your eyebrow by just falling. Like it's almost not really possible. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna put your hands out. You're gonna do everything to prevent your face from just smacking on the floor. It's your instinct, right? So I'm getting mad at this dude because he's basically lying to me. So it's kind of pissing me off. So then he's like, "Oh no, nah, like that's all I know. That's all I know." Like basically acting like, basically acting scared of me, basically. So then I go inside to grab a water and a napkin for him. I come back out. I give it to him. I tell him to clean up a little bit. And then I go back inside to get my drink. So I went to go get my drink. And mind you, the only reason that the guy was able to get back in his wheelchair because I told the Mexican dude to just stop touching him. Cause I was like, this, like, I don't even want you near him because you just already seem suspicious. So I told him just to move, and then I picked him up myself and put him back into his wheelchair. And then I went inside to go grab him a drink and stuff, to grab him a water and a napkin. So when I gave him the water and the napkin, helped him clean up, and then went back inside again because mind you, this whole time I didn't get anything. I'm paying attention to this dude. I'm trying to help him out, right? So I didn't get nothing for myself yet. So I go back inside and I grab my drink, and then I come back out. By the time I'm coming out, this dude's getting put into a gray car, and this gray car was there the whole time when everything happened. I already had a feeling he was tied to it when I had first walked up because it just all makes sense. Like everything I'm telling you, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just guessing off of the entire situation by just evaluating everything, right? By just being street smart. And I'm not saying it's to say I'm some type of like fucking street dude that knows everything, you know what I'm saying? But I've been in situations before. Like I wasn't always the person I am now. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in situations where I had to be street smart to get at certain places, or I had to be street smart to tell something bad was about to go down. You know what I mean? Like I've been in situations before. So, like I said again, back to what I was saying. They put him into his car and then they took off. So now, mind you, I'm going home and I'm still kind of lost on the situation. Like I'm still not really knowing what actually happened because, like I said, I came at the very end of it. Technically speaking, like I don't really know exactly what went down before I showed up. I just know I seen the black dude on the ground when I walked up. You know what I'm saying? That's all I know. I don't really know what happened 10 minutes before that. You get what I mean? So I'm still piecing up everything and make my own assumptions, make my own guesses about what happened, right? And come to find out later on that week, I found out I was right. Like what happened was, you know what I'm saying? The dude did something to him and it made the guy fall out the wheelchair. And you know what I'm saying? They kind of were about to leave him like that, but then they see me coming up and like out and then started acting hella friendly, basically because they thought I was going to do something to them, right? And what I'm saying is to come to my point is, if I wasn't built like how I was, bro, if I wasn't in shape, if I looked like how I did, they would have tried to intimidate me, bro. Promise you, they would have been like, "Get the fuck out of here! Quit worrying about what's going on." They would have tried to intimidate me, bro. Facts. Or if I was younger, they would have done that, man. Like when you see someone that's in shape, over 200 pounds, over 6 foot, walking up, you know what I'm saying, to a situation, you have no choice but to like back off, basically. You know what I'm saying? Let them handle the situation because you know you're not going to get loud with that person. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like when I first walked up, his first sight of me was someone who was in shape, someone who could take care of themselves. You know what I'm saying? That was their first impression of me. So they had no choice but to respect me when I walked up. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Body game, in a sense, it low key helped me in a street smart type of situation because they knew if I figured out what was going on, that I would have done something to them. And by them thinking that, they were being super nice to me because they didn't want me to get upset. You know what I'm saying? Because they see how I look. It's like I always said, how you look is always gonna determine how people treat you, regardless of what you think is the facts. It's the truth. So then back to the story. I ended up calling my dad. And I'm just calling because I always share my dad shit like this. Always just share with him stuff like this, just to get his perspective on things, right? Just to get his perspective on stuff. And he was telling me like, what you did wasn't wrong, but you gotta look at stuff from a deeper level. You can't always just jump into situations, just help people without really knowing what happened beforehand. Because he said something that was real. He said the old guy could have did something to this dude, and the guy finally saw him and did something to him. You know what I'm saying? Now you just tie yourself into a situation that had nothing to do with you because you felt bad. Because you weren't really thinking about what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? You just jump into a situation. And the only time you should really be doing that if it's a woman or if it's a child. You should never do that for someone. You know what I'm saying? You should never jump into a situation like that because you don't know what you're tying yourself into. And that's the greatest thing you could do to be street smart. That's the greatest thing about being street smart though, is street smart people know not to tie themselves in situations because they know that situation can bring them a whole lot of other shit behind it. You get what I mean? Because you simply didn't mind your own business. It sounds cliche, but it's the truth. Minding your own business is the most street smart thing you can do. It's true. It's true. And if you're in a situation like that, believe it or not, people do the same thing to you, bro. They will mind their own business. They're not gonna get into it. Think about all the time you've been into fights or been into shit. You think random people are just gonna come up to you and help you? They're not gonna help you, man, because they know whatever you're doing right now and going through with this person, it's tied to you and them. So if they jump in, it's gonna be tied to them. You get what I mean? Some people aren't ready to tie themselves in situations like that because they have shit to lose. You get what I mean? And when my dad told me this, it made a lot more sense. So the most street smart thing you can do, bro, is not feel bad for people and not come and save them, because you don't know that person you're feeling bad for. You don't know what he is like or the type of person he is behind closed doors. You don't know that. So you have to always keep that in mind.